with the movement. But if they want to be jealous of something, you know, they'll be jealous for 100 years. Look here, boy, this is a bad ride. I don't care what you say about it. That boy's wearing Vogues, big H right on the top. This way back when, but that's the baddest ride they made in those days. That's just what it was. Had a sunroof in those days. Okay? So if a person wanted to be jealous, right? Now, in those days, let's say that's 50 years ago. This is a little farther than 50 years ago, because that's, yeah, shoot, that's 51 years ago. Maybe 52 almost. Anyway, it's a long time ago. So, you know, Negroes used to have phony telephones in their car. And I don't know if you remember, they used to have rabbit ears in the back, like they had a TV in the back.
Right.
You can see the way this car is sitting low. It's sitting low because there's a telephone unit in the back, in the trunk. That telephone unit in those days weighed 300 pounds. And that's why you had to have air ride, where when your engine starts, it lifts the car up a little bit. Because it ain't like a cell phone now. No. Although I had 11 channels, Y848, something like that. Look, that thing weighed 300 pounds, a big unit, you know what I mean? Okay, so if someone wanted to be jealous on how Negroes dress, that's the sharpest Negro. This is years before Superfly now. This is at least 3 years before Superfly now. But this is a style. That means we didn't pick up on the style. We didn't invent it. The stuff we wearing, we didn't invent that. I guess y'all saw this from the fashion page with the white man. The white man, what was it? Bob Hoffman. Some clown said that somebody sold me to Bob Hoffman. Then they turned right around again and said that Bob Hoffman had some psychic something. Only thing we knew about Bob Hoffman, he was a tailor. Right there in Oakland. Oakland Raiders went to him. All those people, you know, I would meet all the Oakland Raiders. All of them would be there because they was big, so they had to have tailor-made clothes. You know what I mean? And he's the one that made them. Talking about sharp and tenders, suede and leather. See, all this, we invented this stuff because these type of coats, first only women wore, especially with mink cuffs and mink collars. But we made it masculine, and that's sharp. That's sharp. You say what you want. Of course, if you look close, you'll see a little knot on my head. That's why the police bust me upside the head. It's okay. I'm just saying, if you wanted to be jealous, there's reasons for people to be jealous, but it's not healthy. Why? They can't take that stuff away. They can't change that. That's just like the main person that's practicing Hasad would beat up all the pretty girls. Well, they beat up all of the pimps used to call me Ho Hog and Hank. Why? We was in East Oakland. All the pimps, mostly in those days, in West Oakland. And I used to go, all of my friends, I had a ton of girlfriends. And on the weekends and stuff, I'd take them all out. You know, I just may have something in their house or something, you know, something just sitting there, and I mean, but they were my, most of them was my wife's friends, but they were my friends because we all grew up, you know, And shoot, I'd take them out riding in them big pretty cars, and they would feel like movie. They said, they would feel like movie stars. They really liked it because imagine they're the stars of the town. If you could remember in those days, the black community was a black community, and all the famous people was in the black community. We had all our own famous people, our own newspapers and everything. So if you was they call it the in crowd, if you was that, you were the envy of everybody. And I didn't talk to them like, now I'm big so-and-so. I just said, everybody come on, let's load up. And we'd go see the Temptations, David Ruffin, you know, the Four Tops, everybody. You know, we just went to see them. You know, that's what we did. And they enjoyed it. And all the pimps were saying, man, you ought to be pimping. I said, man, I better not catch y'all. These are my friends. You know, I don't need none of you poor people trying, because pimps, we consider them poor, very poor. For us, they couldn't afford this type of stuff. They was poor. And then if they got any money, they came to the blow house where we had stuff going on, and they snorted up their money and blow. Anyway, a Negro that gets on the front page of a foreign newspaper with respect, you know, with respect, that they got to be, they're looking and listening to everything. The people thought it was so dynamic, they translated it from English to Persian and put it in the paper on the front page, or their political newspaper. Okay, so that's for me, it's all right. But other people call me, you think you somebody because I saw you on Press TV, no, yeah, I saw you here, I said, just put me on there, so what? Why don't you call them and ask them to put you on? You know. Y'all remember Charles Atlas? Guys said Charles Atlas look. Now let's imagine in 1966, niggas with swimming pools. 1966, not in 1976 or 86. I'm talking about 1966. I look like a teenager almost. So wherever I'm at, they got a swimming pool there, and it's a personal swimming pool, right? So that means that something is going on. Supposing politically, what is this, the decline and fall of the American empire, right? How many of us can talk easily about China, Japan, Iran, and the whole world? How many people would sit and say, well, they done invaded Lebanon, don't worry, that's going to be a big payoff for us. That's what we told them. Oh, don't worry, hands off Libya. Here's what's going to happen about them. It's a protracted struggle. I mean, detailed stuff that none of our people, not one, engages the world on that level. Not one. I don't care whether it's mellow yellow up there, all Arabic speaking, none of our brothers. So if I wanted to be arrogant, I got the physical reason. I could say, yeah, smart niggas, but we don't do that. Black Sharp again, that's just another car that was black, big grill, everything. That's Sharp, that's a big hat, that's Sharp. You know, in those days we dressed, all the colors had to match. You couldn't wear no red, this and the brown, that, no. It had to match, and everything here matches. And that's the nice car behind it. Okay, so people get mad and they bust you upside the head. Who would do that to another Muslim? Think about it. Who would do that type of thing? And you can't see it, but this little stuff here, they used to have a saying, I whip your head till it rolled like oatmeal. There's chips. My head, tell the truth, my head is chipped up. That means they was knocking pieces of flesh. That means that if the Lord give people that are non-envious, optimistic and hopeful, those people have a clean heart. They're optimistic. They're energetic. But people that do things like that are depressed. They're angry. They got a frown on their face. When they do that, they got a frown on their face like, hey, look, I am mad at you. Because what? This stuff, we couldn't be mad at that. That's what heroes do. Maybe boss man told them to be mad or hateful. Somebody told them to be hateful because everything that they do, it looks like Hasad, jealousy, envy. You know what I mean? And then, see, jealousy and envy, no matter if they would have killed me, all this stuff would still be true, right? Everything would still be true. That they should be happy that somebody got a chance when they was very young to go through all those stages of life early. Somebody asked me about it the other day. I said, no, I was 25 and 26. Can you imagine that by the time you're 30 years old, all of that is in the past? All of this stuff is in the past. By the time I left here driving the big, pretty cars, and when I came home, I had a little yellow Volkswagen, just like the one outside, except it was a real bug. And they said, man, the man went crazy. He done left driving the biggest cars, right? And he's satisfied with it. Of course, he might have money, that ain't the thing. But I started sleeping on the floor when I was in South America. You know, little pads, stuff like that. I was in South America. I was still in my 20s. I just didn't, that was not appealing. It was a blessing. So, if you would look at me, I was a Zahid, technically, before I became a real card-carrying Muslim. Because I had went through all of that and I saw what it was. So that ain't nothing. I was lucky. Because everybody else still, they stay up all night. No matter how much money they got, they want more money. And I'm not like that. I passed through that. Last time I went to Africa was to find the brothers, and I went to Algeria and I couldn't find the Panthers. They was gone. And the government was mad at them. And the first time I went there, they said, come on, and they took me where they was, and it was wonderful. Then I came back a few years later, and Black Panther, and I know they know who the Black Panthers are. Black Panther, you know, who are they? You know. So I found them in the brothers in Black Africa, as we call it. And so the whole idea was to make money in South America. Just imagine everything that everybody, I can imagine the people being upset. Because everything they think that was wonderful, you walk away from it. Like, remember, there was only one black cocaine cartel that I know of. It was ours. And it was nice. We just smuggled cocaine up there, you know, during the Superfly period, and took the money back to Africa. And when I went back and there was nobody to accept the money or use the money, I quit, because that's the only reason I was doing it. I had already outgrown all of this stuff. And I was moving to other Don't nobody outgrow this stuff. They stay in it all their life till they get blown away or killed or drugged down the street or spend 1,000,000 years in jail. You know what I mean? And all of that. When I stopped selling blow, I stopped right in the middle. I was right there in Mexico at Hermosillo. And I picked up on a few things. I said, I quit. That's what, see, here's what we used to do in those days. Each time we had a shipment, we got bigger and bigger. So by that time, we was from Colombia to Mexico. In Mexico, we had stashes right along the border. You know, you have a ranch house, you have this or that. And you send it across whenever you want, by whoever you want or however you want. The house right in the city, you send it right across the border, right with everybody else. They didn't have all them dogs and all of that. You could send women across, packed up, they used to call them mules, packed up with blow. You could do what you want. I just left it. I mean, right in the middle. I don't know who got all the stuff or what. I just left it. And everybody else would have said, man, I did this, I did that. I don't care what you would have done. I know it was the right thing for me to do. And I know every other decision I ever made, it was the right thing for me to do. That's why the blessings we have, I count everything as a blessing. There ain't nothing bad. Boss man, do what he do. Don't bother me now. And everybody like to be around famous people. This is the technique. This is the man. This is the rabbi, right? This is him. Even the people telling him this is so and so or da 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 da. There's no other Americans there. You see Sudanese. You can see the head of the Palestinian movement back there. And if you can see the whole picture, we got white folks with long turbans hanging down. They Sufis from Central Asia and from the Caucasus. Real live card-carrying Caucasians. Right? Folks, might as well from the Caucasus, from the Caucasian land. Real live card-carrying Caucasians. Okay? That means something is going on. So if we have some people the same or mad or jealous, they'll forever be jealous. All of their good deeds, they're going to lose them. Any good deeds, they're going to lose those, and they're going to put the good deeds on us. They're going to lose it, you know. And remember, fire consumes wood. Jealousy, envy, hatred. Imagine the composure that you have to have. You can see the people on the thing. They look mean and mad and stupid. From what I see, right? They look mean, mad, and stupid. And still, I want this to have an invitational type of message. But, you know, like, so don't contact people talking crazy, you know, or sending a stupid message from our other program that we had. We're just showing the people this is what they act like, and this is why. This is why they act that way. And nobody had a program laid out to, these people wasn't even born way back in those. They wasn't even born. They wasn't even born. What did I do, you know? So what's the sense of wasting all of your time and energy being mad at how someone dressed? We talked about that the other week. Well, they don't have to be mad at how I dress. You can go right over the thing and get these. I'll give them to you free. So I'm not wearing that stuff from before or dressed like that. That's ridiculous, right? But you had to have, imagine you get a chance to live through all of that and taste it. How many people get a chance to taste it? They don't get a chance, so their whole life is spent thinking, yeah, I'm Muslim, but man, I miss one or two things, I'd rather get up on. I don't have none of that. I ain't missed nothing. And I know I haven't missed it. I know the reality of now, and I know that reality then. That reality is totally incomplete, no matter how good it looks. No matter how good it looks, and everybody's standing there with their eyes googly. Oh man, I'm sorry. This is the googly-eyed stuff right here. Helping the poor, feeding the poor, helping somebody who's down in the dust, trying to pull people back from the brink of destruction. That's the good stuff. Okay. So, that's why we call ourselves As-Sabiqun. As-Sabiqun, the whole mission was to, as we said, first to go out front to do certain things, but we always said, As-Sabiqun's mission, the whole mission, was to go out in front and to be an example, to show people what they can do, what you can do, how you can do it. And that's what we're here for. We're here to show people that boss man is not a permanent fixture. The British wasn't permanent. The Romans were not permanent, no matter how long they stayed. And boss man is packing up, getting ready to go now. Right? He's in a hurry headed down. We could put just a little pinch of heat there. Okay. So inferiority complexes. This is a cure. We want to help cure Saudi Arabia and the Arab Emiratis and all of them from inferiority complexes by going out and showing them you don't have to be second-class citizens and inferior. And a lot of people, they look at something, they say, yeah, man, I see all them high yellow cutie pies. Well, look. All of that color stuff, I know I'm the luckiest man in the world. You know why? My mother, I'm the youngest child. So all of my mother's friends will say around 50 when I was coming up. When I was 11 or 12. All her friends was around 50. They're older ladies. They didn't went through that curly-headed stuff. If it was a teenager or a young lady, they would, ooh, he got curly hair, he got, right? But when they get older,